Good morning, everyone, and welcome to today's Advanced English Vidcast, episode number 2. I hope that you're ready for today's live lesson. We're streaming a little earlier than we normally do, but hopefully you are all awake and ready to improve your English. So this vidcast is a little bit different to my normal lessons. Very soon I will be removing the video, giving you a still static picture so that you can listen and really take in the English that I'll be teaching you. We'll be learning idioms, we'll be looking at some riddles and jokes, we'll be looking at poetry, news articles, and a little sing-song at the end. And this is all a way of improving your English and taking you to the next level so that you can achieve fluent English speaking in a more interesting way. Hopefully. So if you are here, hello, please feel free to comment and ask questions. I will respond to some comments towards the end of the session. If you're a patron, then as you know, the patron room is open. So feel free to say hello and ask your questions there. Otherwise, I hope you're all sitting comfortably. And if you do enjoy this lesson, then please show me that you're enjoying it by giving it a thumb up. And perhaps help me to improve the viewership here by clicking the share button. If you click the share button and let me know in the comments that you have shared, then I will try my best to give you a shout out. So, without further ado, we have a great lesson today. Let's improve and become advanced English speakers. So here we go. Oh, I've jumped ahead. Let me go all the way back to the top. Here we go. So today we're going to start the vidcast with a word of the day. And the word of the day is the word brazen. Brazen. Do you already know this word? Let me know in the comments. If this is a new word for you, then I want to set you a challenge. I want you to try and use this word at least 3 times today. So the word brazen, it's an adjective. And it means to be excessively bold and without shame. So it's not necessarily a good thing to be brazen. So excessively bold and without shame. And here I've given you an example of how you could use it. Jim made no secret of his intentions to run for president. And his... Oh dear. Let me take out this. And his brazen behaviour hadn't gone unnoticed. Jim made no secret of his intentions to run for president, and his brazen behaviour hadn't gone unnoticed. So basically, Jim is parading around the office, telling everybody that he's going to run for president, that he is probably going to win the race, and he's being very brazen about it. And everybody else in the office has noticed, and they're not very happy about it because it's not a good way to conduct yourself in the office. So without shame, he is shameful. He is shameful. Okay, so try to use the word brazen 3 times today if you can. All right, so now I'm going to set a riddle. And a riddle is something to be worked out. It's usually playing on words. I'll do this one every time. And what will happen is I'll set the riddle at the beginning and then I'll give you the answer to the riddle at the end. So the question is, I'm tall when I'm young and I'm short when I'm old. What am I? I'm tall when I'm young and I'm short when I'm old. What am I? Fantastic. So, if you think you know, you can let me know in the comments or just hold on to the end and I will let you know. So, next we have the weather. You know that we Brits absolutely love talking about the weather. We can't get enough of weather chat. I think, in fact, every conversation that I ever have with a new person, someone who walks into the door, we generally at some point will mention the weather. Hello, good morning, how are you? It's a bit cold today, isn't it? Or hello, how are you? Terrible weather today. Or isn't it nice outside? Oh, I love the sun. So every conversation I think I have always starts with some comment on the weather. And it's just the way us Brits are. So the weather today in London we have scattered showers are forecast. Perhaps frequent and heavy later with risk of thunder. Uh-oh, it's going to be stormy. Feeling cold in showers and moderate northwesterly winds. Feeling cool in the showers and moderate northwesterly winds. The temperature, highs of 15 degrees Celsius. So it's not very warm at all. It's quite chilly. Similar to where you are? I can see lots of you are writing your answers to the riddle in the comments box. Oh, are you right? We'll have to find out at the end. Fantastic. So, regarding the weather, as it's going to be very wet with these showers, some of them are going to be heavy showers with thunder. I thought today's idiom should be based on water because there's obviously going to be a lot of water. And so today's idiom is, it's water under the bridge. It's water under the bridge. Now, this actually comes from a proverb, but now we just use it as an idiom. And water under the bridge means a problem or an issue that occurred in the past which cannot be undone or changed, and therefore it's no longer important. So perhaps it was something that upset you in the past, perhaps an argument or some form of betrayal or an accident or an incident, something bad that happened, or even anything that involves strong emotions, that was turbulent at the time, but because it's in the past and you can't change it, you can't do anything about it, you don't worry about it anymore. At the time, it was important to you. At the time, it upset you or it made you feel very disappointed. But now you don't care anymore because it was such a long time ago. You hold no grudges. And the example sentence for this particular idiom is, she betrayed me many years ago, but it's water under the bridge now. She betrayed me many years ago, but it's water under the bridge now. I don't care anymore. Okay, so Alexia has raised a very, very good question and said, what's the difference between a proverb and an idiom? A proverb, as far as I understand it, a proverb is a story. So it's a story that teaches a moral or teaches acceptable behavior. Whereas an idiom is a standalone phrase that has a completely different meaning to what it's saying. So, water under the bridge, if I say it's water under the bridge, it's got nothing to do with water or bridges, it's to do with emotions and time being passed. But we say water under the bridge to mean problems and no longer problems because of time. Whereas a proverb is a complete story that teaches you a lesson. I hope I've explained that clearly for you. Okay, wonderful. So, the next section in our vidcast for advanced English speakers like us. I'm going to be brazen about this. There you go, number one. Ting! Okay, so the next section here is the news. This extract is taken from the BBC website. And rather than taking some bad news, because the news is always full of bad news, I thought I'd find an interesting, more uplifting story. And I found this one about the snow leopards. The snow leopards. Take note of the pronunciation of this word, leopard. Leopard. Snow leopards are no longer endangered. Endangered. If a species is endangered, it means that they are at risk of becoming extinct. There are low numbers of these creatures and they are at risk of becoming extinct, no longer existing ever. So, snow leopards are no longer endangered. Wonderful. Has the chilling threat of extinction worn off at last for the long endangered snow leopard? Question mark. Now, whenever we ask a question, we have a rising intonation at the end. The long endangered snow leopard, and my intonation goes up because I'm asking a question. Here I've highlighted words and phrases that I think you should be aware of. So here we have worn off. If something wears off or has worn off, it means it's no longer an issue. Usually if you're talking about a headache, perhaps, if you have a terrible headache, and then after you take some tablets and drink some water, your headache might wear off. And I will ask you, has your headache worn off? Has it gone away? Has it dulled down? And you would say, yes, it has worn off. Thank you. So I'm asking the question, has the chilling threat of extinction worn off at last for the long endangered snow leopard? Not exactly. But the iconic big cat's conservation status has been improved from endangered to vulnerable. Not exactly, but the iconic big cat's conservation status has been improved from endangered to vulnerable. The decision was announced by the International Union for Conservation of Nature, IUCN, the global standard for assessing extinction risks. Extinction risk. That's a tongue twister. Okay, moving on. Experts have warned that the species still faces serious threats from poaching and habitat destruction. Experts have warned that the species still faces serious threats from poaching and habitat destruction. And here I've highlighted the word poaching if you're not familiar with this. To poach can mean a number of different things depending on the context. But in this scenario, when we're talking about endangered animals, poaching means to hunt an animal without permission. So obviously in some places hunting is fine, it's okay. Some people agree with it, some people don't. But it happens. Some people hunt. But in some cases, you're not allowed to hunt. Usually in conservation areas or with certain types of animals. If the animals are endangered, then you must not hunt them because you could wipe out an entire species. So in those cases, or if the animals are owned by a groundskeeper, then obviously you're not allowed to hunt those animals. If you do then hunt those animals when you're not allowed, it's called poaching. So experts have warned that there still are serious threats from poaching and habitat destruction. Now, the word habitat just refers to your natural environment. What is your natural habitat? And here they're talking about habitat destruction, their natural environment being destroyed. Okay, let's move on. The elegant yet elusive creatures which live in the mountains of Central Asia were first listed as endangered by the IUCN in 1972. Give me a shout out if you are in Central Asia. And have you ever seen a snow leopard? Have you ever been lucky enough to see a snow leopard? So here I've highlighted this word for you, elusive. Elusive. If you are elusive, it could mean that you're difficult to see, you're difficult to find, you're difficult to understand, perhaps. So someone who keeps themselves to themselves, they'll turn up to a party, but they leave very quickly. You didn't see them leave, or someone that you can't really get a grip on. They're elusive. They keep secrets. And the snow leopard is very elusive, very hard to track, very hard to find. So if you have seen a snow leopard in the wild, you are very lucky. Okay, so there you go. A few words that perhaps you don't know. Elusive, habitat, poaching, worn off, and endangered. Let's carry on. The status change followed a 3-year assessment process by 5 international experts. Dr. Tom McCarthy, who runs the snow leopard program at big cat charity Pantheria, was one of them. To be considered endangered, there must be fewer than 2,500 mature snow leopards, and they must be experiencing a high rate of decline, he explained. So here I've highlighted the word mature. if you don't know the word mature. And when we're talking about living creatures or people being mature, we're talking about them being adults. If they are mature, they are adults. Although you can refer to a child being mature, you can say she's quite mature for her age. It means she's quite grown up. She has a sense about her. She has a manner or a behaviour that's quite grown up, that's above her years. She's quite mature. And equally, many adults can be quite immature, can't they? Many adults can behave like children sometimes. I think all of us are guilty of sometimes being a little bit immature. So the other word I highlighted here is the word decline. Decline basically means to go down. It's in decline. It's reducing. Okay. Wow. Some of you have actually said that you have seen a snow leopard. So Javed has seen a snow leopard, and Niriman is from Central Asia. Fantastic. You guys are very lucky. Okay. Let's move on. So mature and decline, two new words, hopefully, for your vocabulary list. Both are now considered extremely unlikely, which is the good news, but it does not mean that snow leopards are safe or that now is a time to celebrate. The species still faces a high risk of extinction in the wild and is likely still declining, just not at the rate previously thought. Well, that is good news. Like they've said, it's not a time to celebrate because, of course, the snow leopards are still in decline, but it is good news that they are no longer endangered. All right, so what is next? Ooh, put your hands up if you like Shakespeare. Now, don't panic. Most people hear the word Shakespeare and they run for the hills. They go, Shakespeare is so scary. In the UK, we all have to study Shakespeare at some point during our education. And I can guarantee you every single English native who hears the words, right class, today we're going to be doing some Shakespeare, we all run. We scream and run and go, Shakespeare is so hard. The thing with Shakespeare is there are a few words which are from that time that are no longer used, are no longer relevant, and in some cases the words are no longer even in the dictionary. So yes, in some cases there are words that are almost impossible to understand, but generally Shakespeare had such a rich vocabulary, so once you get used to the format of Shakespeare, then Shakespeare can be a wonderful way to increase your vocabulary, as well as the fact that Shakespeare is just a beautiful author and his work is fantastic. So I'm going to be very brazen about my love for Shakespeare. I love Shakespeare. I could read Shakespeare all day long. There you go, brazen. Ting, number 2. All right, so the Shakespeare piece that I'm going to do with you now is relatively easy, and it's called The 7 Ages of Men. And this is from the play As You Like It, I think. Okay, so stay with me, don't panic, let's enjoy this together. All the world's a stage, and all the men and women are merely players. They have their exits and They have their exits and their entrances, and one man in his time plays many parts. His act being 7 ages. Okay, so that's the introduction. Are we okay with the introduction? Do we all understand the introduction? If you're finding that a little bit of a shock and you're not quite sure what I've just read, I'm just going to make it very simple for you. Basically, it's saying the world is a stage, like a play. So the world is like a play. Imagine you go to the theatre and you watch a play, and that is what the world is. And every person that's alive are merely the actors. In Shakespeare's day, the word players means actors. So all the men and women that are alive on the world are the actors, and we're just acting in a drama. They have their exits and their entrances. This means they die and they are born. So people come and go. And one man in his time plays many parts. So throughout one person's life, this doesn't mean just a man, it's a man or a woman. They use man to refer to like human. And one man in his time plays many parts. His acts, so his part on the stage of life, has 7 ages. So Shakespeare says that in your life, you will go through 7 stages, basically. And this is what the poem is all about. It's explaining those 7 stages from when you're born to when you die. And that's what the whole poem is about. And that's what we're going to do. Okay? So here we go into the rest of the piece. At first, the infant, the baby, mewling and puking in the nurse's arms. Mewling means to cry. Then, so number 2, then the whining schoolboy with his satchel and shining morning face. The whining is to moan, and notice that's a silent H, whine, whining. Then the whining schoolboy with his satchel and shining morning face, creeping like a snail unwillingly to school. I think we all know that feeling, don't we? To creep unwillingly to school. I don't want to go to school. I certainly used to feel like that about work. I don't want to go to work today. And you go so slowly because you just don't want to get there. Okay, next we have... And then the lover, sighing like furnace with a woeful ballad made to his mistress's eyebrow. So that's the next one. When you become a teenager and you fall in love for the first time, you're the young lover. I fall in love with everybody. Sighing like a furnace, so that you've got that burning inside and you're going, oh, woe is me. I'm in love with her. I'm in love with him. And you're constantly talking like Romeo about this person that you're in love with. Oh, Justin Bieber or whoever it is. Oh, Beyonce, Leonardo DiCaprio. And then after the lover, after being the young teenager in love, you become the soldier, full of strange oaths and bearded like the pard, jealous in honour, sudden and quick in quarrel, seeking the bubble reputation even in the cannon's mouth. Ooh, that's a long one, isn't it? So the soldier, full of strange oaths. So when you become a young adult, then we tend to become full of fight and vigour, and we want to right the world's injustice, and you become a fighter for life. And yes, and you go out and say, I don't think we should eat meat, or I don't think we should drink wine, or I don't think we should wear colourful nail varnish, or whatever your thing is that you believe in. We become very impassioned and we're full of strange oaths. I promise I will not rest until these kind of nails are worldwide. And bearded like the pard, jealous in honour, and sudden and quick to quarrel. Quarrel's a good word. Quarrel means argue, to argue with someone. But if you can use the word quarrel, it sounds quite cool, to quarrel. Even in the cannon's mouth, and that's talking about being an actual soldier and going to war. Okay, so then what comes next? And then the justice, in fair round belly, with good capon lined, with eyes severe, and beard of formal cut, full of wise saws and modern instances. Wow, and so he plays his part. So this one is once you've gotten past being a soldier, a fighter, you start to get a bit fat, with round belly. He talks about round belly with good capon lined. A capon is a chicken who has his testicles cut off so that he tastes better, apparently. And that's a capon. And so you become fat, you eat a lot, and you enjoy food and wine. And you become a bit more serious, with eyes severe, and your beard is in a formal cut. Oh. And you're full of wisdom, basically. You think, yes, I've been there, I've done that, I know that you shouldn't behave like that. So you become the wise older man or older woman, hopefully not with a beard. The sixth age shifts into the lean and slippered pantaloon, with spectacles on nose and pouch on side. His youthful hose well saved, a world too wide for his shrunk shank, and his big, manly voice turning again towards childish treble, pipes and whistles in his sound. Now, this basically talks about when you go from being a stronger, older person to being feeble. When your back starts to bend, you need glasses to see, you can't hear very well. Your voice, it talks about the big manly voice turns to childish treble. Goes like that. Pipes and whistles. Oh, could I have some food, please? Okay. And then, finally, the last scene of all. Last scene of all that ends this strange, eventful history is the second childishness and mere oblivion. Sans teeth, sans eyes, sans taste, sans everything. And this kind of talks about that very last moment in your life. Second childishness, when you're like a baby again and you are oblivious. To be oblivious is to be unaware, to have no knowledge. You're just like, I don't know anything. To be completely oblivious. And you have no teeth. So sans isn't actually an English word, I don't think. Is it French? If anyone speaks French, then please let me know. So it's saying without teeth. Sans eyes, no eyes, you can't see. Without taste, you can't taste anything. Sans everything, you have nothing. You've lost your mind, you've lost your bodily functions, you've lost everything. And eventually, you do lose everything when you lie down to rest. And that is the 7 ages of man. Isn't Shakespeare wonderful? I hope you enjoyed that. I certainly do. Paluxio says, yes, sans means without in French. Yes, I thought it was French. Thank you very much for just correcting me there. Not correcting me, but backing me up. Okay, lots going on over here in the patron Skype room. Hello, patrons. When I say don't or okay fast, I miss the pronunciation of O. Should I speak more slowly? So you don't need to say more when you're saying slowly. Just say, should I speak slower? Would be the best way. Should I speak slower? ? I would always suggest that everyone speaks a little slower, even natives, because that way people can really enjoy the sound of your voice. There will be no mistakes, and also it gives you more authority. If you speak very fast, then you lose your status. It also makes you more likely to trip up and make a mistake. So I would suggest, yes, slow down, don't. Okay. Okay. Don't. Okay. There you go. Hi, Layla. How are you? Finally, I'm in a live lesson. Woohoo! Hello, Eureka. Nice to meet you. Oh, that's nice. You guys greeting each other. One question. Persons, plural, is people, but I've never seen peoples. But I've seen peoples a few days ago. Is that correct? Peoples. Peoples could only have an S, as far as I know, could only have an S if it's possessive. So you could say the people's hero, for example, the hero of the people's hero, but only with that apostrophe. But otherwise, no, people is plural, and therefore you don't need an S to make it plural, because it already is. Okay, so only a possessive S. Thank you. Alrighty, so you know what comes next, everybody? It's the sing-song time. Now, I cannot emphasize enough how special music can be in your learning process. Music can make a huge difference to your learning process. So if you are seriously trying to take that next step in your learning, I would suggest that you employ music as a tool to take you further. So whether that's listening to your favorite bands, your favorite singers, but in English, so you have to get some new favorites, or whether that's creating your own music, if you are musical, if you sing, if you play the piano, guitar, or any kind of instrument, if you play the spoons even, start using that music to help you learn your vocabulary, your sentence structures, your grammar. It really makes a huge, huge difference to how things go into your brain and how long it stays in your brain as well. And it can be incredibly effective. So before we start singing, I'm going to ask you for one quick favour. If you're brand new here, please press the subscribe button. It's absolutely free, and it will mean that you will be on a journey with us and that you'll be notified. If you press the little bell after subscribe as well, you'll be notified every time I'm live and every time I upload a new lesson. If you if you press subscribe and the bell notification button, that will happen. So I want you to join us. So make sure you do that. And if you are enjoying this, please make sure you have given it a thumb up so I know what's working for you for future decisions on what to do. And finally, if all of you right this second could just click that little share button, just take your finger, the pad of the end of your finger, just take it and touch it on share, and then decide if you're going to share it on Facebook, Twitter, Google+, WhatsApp, wherever you're going to share it. Just share it right now. And once you've done that, then we'll all sing together. Are you feeling in good voice? Are you ready to sing a little bit of Doris Day? I'm sure most of you are too young and you don't know who Doris Day is, but I know Doris Day. Doris Day actually was before my time, but she was an incredible singer and one of my favourites. And this song is one that I'm always singing to myself in the car, and I hope that you will sing it with me. So, here we go. This is a song called Sera Sera. Now, Sera is not actually English, but everything else that goes around it is. So, let's sing this together, shall we? Sera by Doris Day. It goes, when I was just a little girl, I asked my mother, what will I be? Will I be pretty? Will I be rich? Here's what she said to me, Sera Sera, whatever will be, will be. The future's not ours to see, Sera Sera, what will be, will be. There we go. So there's the first one. Now that's the tune. Let me know in the comments if you know this already. Are you familiar with this tune? Now, Sera Sera, if I'm not mistaken, means what will be, will be. That's why she repeats it there. So it just means don't worry about stuff that you can't change. It's like the water under the bridge thing. It's already passed. You can't do anything about it. If you have no control over what's happening now or in the future, don't worry about it. Sera, whatever will be, will be. So in this case, the children are asking their parents, will I be pretty when I grow up? Will I be rich when I grow up? And the mother is saying, look, there's nothing you can do now. You certainly can't change whether you'll be pretty or not, and whether you'll be successful or not. Right now, it doesn't matter. Whatever will be. So don't worry. And I think that's a good standard for today and for the weekend. Don't worry about things. Let's all just chill out and accept the world. We should definitely be accepting. This is a fabulous community for acceptance because you're all so wonderful and accepting of each other. So, are you going to sing with me? We're going to do the second verse. Here we go. When I grew up and fell in love, I asked my sweetheart what lies ahead. Will we have rainbows day after day? Here's what my sweetheart said. Sera Sera, whatever will be, will be. The future's not ours to see. Sera Sera, what will be, will be. Did you sing it with me? Did you sing it? I hope so. All right, I'm not going to torture you with my voice too much longer. We have one more verse, and just so you know, this isn't about me singing to you. This is about encouraging you to sing with me. Okay, I want you to, even if you think that you've got a horrible voice, I want you to just enjoy singing, because it really helps you to remember stuff. And then if you can end up singing this song to yourself as you're going about your business today, that will be a triumph, because you'll be singing English, which will help you to remember the words that you're singing and the sentence structure. This is why music is so good. Okay, so third verse, I want you to sing it with me, okay? All together, no matter where you are. Let's wake up those neighbours if they're sleeping. Let's disturb everybody out there on the streets. Let's let everyone know that we're learning English and we're singing Doris Day. Here we go. Now I have children of my own. They ask their mother, what will they be? Will I be handsome? Will I be rich? I tell them tenderly, que sera, sera. Whatever will be, will be. The future's not ours to see. Que sera, sera. What will be, will be. Did you sing? Amazing. I want you to see if you can remember and sing this later on. Maybe when you're in the car, when you're traveling somewhere, or when you're taking a bath or a shower. I want you to see if you can remember this song and just at least sing the chorus. Okay? Fabulous. Amazing. So Eureka has pointed out something very interesting. She said, you sound American when you sing. It's a really good point. Lots of people, when they sing, British people I'm talking about, will sing with an American accent. And that's because most of the music we are, I was going to say subjected to, but that's not the right word. That gives, that means to be forced to do something. Most of the music we listen to here or have grown up with comes from American singers or bands. And so, for example, like Frank Sinatra or the Rat Pack, those kinds of things. Elvis is, when we grew up, these were the songs that were prominent on our radios, on our televisions. And so we kind of get used to hearing the American accent with music. And so when we're singing, we sing with an American accent. It's interesting, isn't it? And you can always notice when a British singer or say, like, I know there's some very famous Scottish singers, or anyone from a regional part of the UK, when they have a strong accent and they sing with that accent, you really notice it. You're like, wow, I can hear that accent. That's so unusual that they're not singing with a slight American accent. For example, the Beatles. Yes, the Beatles sang with a slight kind of Scouse twang. So, yes, very interesting. Where are we? Oh, so we're coming towards the end of our vidcast. I do hope you've enjoyed it. But before I leave you, I'm going to tell you a little joke. Because the Brits have a funny kind of humour. So I always want to inject a little bit of humour into these vidcasts. So you can kind of get to grips with our jokes and our humour. It's not very good. But here I'll attempt to tell you a joke. A mother went to her daughter and asked, Phoebe, do you think I am a bad mother? My name is Jo. It's all in the delivery. I'm assuming that nobody laughed. That was probably just tumbleweed. But I thought that was quite a funny joke. But again, it is all in the delivery. It's all in the telling of the joke. But in case you didn't get it, I'm going to give you that one more time. A mother went to her daughter and asked, Phoebe, do you think I am a bad mother? My name is Jo. Okay, fabulous. Well, there you go. There's a joke you can try out. See if you can repeat that to someone later on in the day. Oh, bless. Attila, thank you so much. You've just sent a £2 super chat. Thank you. You said great lesson. Thank you. And thank you very much for your contribution. That's very, very much appreciated. And of course, if you would like the notes that I have written, then you are more than welcome to them, Attila, for your super chat. That is what I give. So if you want to drop me an email, Attila, I will send you those notes. Okay, so at the beginning of the session, I put out there a riddle. Now, a lot of you were throwing out answers, and now I'm going to reveal what the answer is. So the riddle, let's remind ourselves, was: I am tall when I'm young, and I'm short when I'm old. What am I? And the answer, quite rightly, as some of you put, is a candle. I'm tall when I'm young, but I'm short when I'm old. I am a candle. It was quite an easy one, I think, but well done if you did get it. To be honest, when I was looking up riddles yesterday, I didn't know that one. So you guys, you're obviously better at thinking outside the box than I am, so well done. Okay, so if you have any questions, I'm going to stay on for a few minutes and take a few of your questions. I'm going to check my patrons are okay. Yeah, you guys are cool. If you have enjoyed this, then please do remember to give it a thumb before you leave. And if you can share it with any of your friends, that would be very much appreciated. Next week, I will try to be live at least 3 times, but I will be hopefully traveling to Italy towards the end of the week. So it will mean that the live lessons will kind of slow down over the next couple of weeks. However, I do intend to keep releasing lots and lots of content for you. So make sure that you do keep checking back. And also, there are over 200 lessons here. So do click the video tab and scroll through, see what lessons you've missed and catch up with those. With the slang lessons that I've been doing for the last 3 weeks, I will be holding a test once I get to the end of the alphabet. So if you want to perform well in that test, I suggest you revisit some of the old lessons and make sure you've caught up on the ones that you missed. Now, if you want to do me a huge favour, then I'm looking for translators. I'm looking for people just like you who are advanced in your English and feel that you have the time to put your language on any of my videos. It could be the live videos, it could be the short videos. Just choose a video on my channel that you would like to translate, whether it's the subtitles or the title and description. And then below the video, there's a little sign that says more, or it might say ... If you click on that, you'll see translate. And then you can add your language onto my videos, which will help me. When you help me, it helps you, but also it will help your fellow countrymen. So people from your country whose English isn't as advanced as yours, it'll be helpful for them. So if you can do that, that would be very much appreciated. Remember to try and use the word brazen at least 3 times today, if you can. Try and sing a little bit of Doris Day while you're traveling. And finally, I just want to suggest that if you are really interested in improving your language skills in total, then you need to be doing a lot more than just watching a few YouTube videos. You need to be taking English into your everyday life, at least a couple of hours a day, if you really want to hit fluency. Now, one of the things you can do is to take up an English TV series, watch English movies. So the things you do to relax, just make them part of your English learning as well. You can also use audiobooks. It's something I've mentioned many times before. It's something that I consume audiobooks, not for language learning, just for fun. But I find as a very busy person, I find it very easy when I'm driving or doing the chores or the washing up to stick on an audiobook and just listen. And then I'm kind of concentrating, kind of not, but it's always there in my ear. And Audible are doing a free 30-day trial. And the link is down in the description box below. If you sign up for that, you get 30 days absolutely free. If you don't like it after that, you can get rid of it. But I suggest there are some fantastic narrators narrating some great English books. So I would suggest that you take advantage of that while it's still going on. And that's all really. So what do you guys want to know? 3 questions I will take. I'm just trying to find a question. You're all being very kind in the comments box. Thank you. I want you to make lessons we can use when seeing the doctor. Oh, now Genkotsu. If you search through my previous videos for a video called Feeling Ill or Feeling Sick, it's quite an old one now. It's about a year old. That was a really good lesson. I spent a lot of time on that lesson, and that will help you. That's exactly what you're asking for. It helps you visiting the doctor. Eureka says, I love your elocution manual. Thank you, Eureka. I'm so glad that you do. If anyone else is interested in elocution, that is the way you speak, your accent, speaking clearly, then I do have manuals and courses available on my website, which is listed in the description below. It's called www.britishenglishpro.com. But Eureka, I'm glad you're happy with it. Anna, could you please say, be quiet, listen, write, read, or look, sing, stand up, sit down, hands up, hands down, open your books, close your books. There you go. And bless you, thank you, Sławek, or should I call you Eric? Thank you so much. That is very, very kind of you. Something I've done recently with my gold members. My gold members are members of my WhatsApp group, and we are like a little family, a very small community, and we talk on WhatsApp every day. And something I did with them recently, which was quite good fun, was to give them English names. Because many of them, they're from all over the world, and many of them have names that you would never see in the UK. Well, not from English people anyway. And so I decided it would be fun to do an alternative name, to give everyone their alternative English name. And yes, Sławek is one of my gold members, and Sławek is now Eric. That's his English name, Eric, like Banana Man. If you don't know who Banana Man is, Google Banana Man. He's an amazing superhero who eats bananas. Banana Man! But yes, I think it's fun giving yourself a different name, a name related to the country of the language that you're learning. So why don't you try it? What would your English name be? Maybe I should give you all English names. Okay, Anna, have you done V lesson with locations and directions? I'm not sure what V lesson is. A video lesson. Okay, a video lesson with locations and directions. Maybe not specifically. I've done prepositions for traveling, but I can't remember if I've done locations. But I will add it to the list. Thank you very much. What else? Okay, one more. Are you going to start learning a second language? Not at the moment. I'm always kind of dabbling with Spanish. But my life, I don't have time in my life for learning a new language. Learning a language takes dedication. I know this, and I'm dedicated to you guys. And I'm also dedicated to my children's channel, which is called Bella and Beans TV. If you have any little children, please go and look up Bella and Beans TV. I think it's listed down below in the description. But Bella and Beans TV and you guys have my full attention and my 110% energy and effort. So I don't have any more space for learning another language at the moment. Okay, last question. Is there a poem you have in mind about someone secretly admiring others? Nope. No. Can you say necessary or words ending with re? Necessary. I can't think of any other words. Statuary. I can't think of any other words ending with ry at this point in time. Okay, my darlings, I'm waffling on. I'm going to let you go and get on with your day, and I am going to start filming some fantastic content for you guys while I am away in Italy. Thank you so much for joining me. I hope you've enjoyed it. Don't forget that next Friday I won't be here. So therefore, next week's podcast, Vidcast, will be on Thursday morning, I think. Let me quickly check my calendar. Yes, it will be on Thursday morning, let's say at 11 a.m. 11 a.m. next Thursday, I will do Vidcast episode number 3. I hope you'll join me then. Have a great day, guys. Lots of love. Take care.